You're not behind. You're not lost. You are exactly where you're meant to be to take your next step. Imagine waking from a dream so vivid that it feels more real than life itself, only to realize that reality as we know it might actually be the illusion. What if death isn't an end, but a beginning, a kind of awakening? This idea may seem unfamiliar, even unsettling. We've been conditioned to fear what we can't understand. But what if I told you that ancient wisdom, brilliant philosophers, and countless near-death experiences all suggest the same thing? Death doesn't extinguish consciousness, it liberates it. In the next few minutes, you'll understand how this knowledge can reshape your view of life, grief, and the decisions you make from a spiritual perspective. At the heart of every step forward is the soul's desire to grow, to expand its light. Death, then, isn't a final punctuation mark. It's more like a comma in the story of many lives. When a soul leaves the physical world, it enters a transitional space, a kind of cosmic waiting room. Here, time no longer works the way we understand it. Fear, anxiety, and attachment to the material world gradually fall away, though not always immediately. The way each soul experiences this stage depends on its level of awareness and spiritual maturity. It's in this phase that major decisions emerge. The soul may revisit past lives, connect with spiritual guides, and map out its next steps. Nothing is forced. Everything is chosen. The soul freely determines what it needs to keep evolving. This awareness changes everything. It gives meaning to each moment. The weight of loss softens. Guilt starts to dissolve. And that paralyzing fear of death is replaced by a deep reverence for life. Many people assume that death instantly resolves everything, but awakening on the other side is a moment of deep reflection, and not always an easy one. Many souls arrive feeling confused. Some remain stuck in old emotional patterns, resentment, guilt, attachment. Others don't yet understand what they need to learn next, which creates a sort of spiritual fog. It's like waking up from a powerful dream, unsure of where you are. That's why there's an important process called the life review. With the guidance of loving, wise beings, the soul re-examines its most recent life, not for punishment, but for understanding. There is no judgment, only truth and compassion. The soul watches its life as if watching a film, feeling the emotional weight of every thought, action, and decision. This reflection is liberating. It allows the soul to see clearly what it has learned and what still needs work. With this insight, the soul begins planning its next chapter. Knowing that this life review awaits us can inspire us to live more consciously now. Every word, every act of love or indifference, every choice of fear or courage, it all matters. Don't wait until the afterlife to examine your journey. Ask yourself today, if I watch the movie of my life, what would I feel? Let this question guide your next step. One of our biggest misconceptions is believing the soul seeks a flawless life. free from pain or difficulty. The truth is the opposite. Our greatest growth often comes from challenges. The soul chooses its path based on what it still needs to learn, balance, or strengthen. For instance, a soul that mastered intellect in a past life but lacked compassion might now choose a life that emphasizes emotional connection. A soul previously ruled by pride may now take on the mission of humility. The next life isn't a punishment. It's a loving decision made with the help of wise guides, but always chosen freely. When you feel a deep calling, a dream that won't go away, a repeated challenge, or a pain that feels inexplicable, pay attention. These are not coincidences. They are clues about the mission your soul chose before birth. In fact, many of your deepest fears, fear of failure, rejection, vulnerability, may point directly to the lessons your soul came to embrace. Often, what we fear most is the exact area where our soul seeks to grow and find liberation. And now, the question: why were you born into the specific family you have, with its unique dynamics, its love, its pain? Choosing parents is one of the most significant decisions a soul makes before reincarnation. From the outside, families can appear flawed or far from ideal. But from the soul's perspective, what matters isn't comfort, it's growth. Sometimes the soul chooses a nurturing environment to learn trust and self-worth. Other times, it chooses a difficult home to develop resilience, forgiveness, or to break generational patterns of pain. These decisions aren't random or imposed. The soul, with help from spiritual mentors, explores many options, considering the energy of the parents, their karma, their challenges, and the kind of environment they will provide. Often, souls make sacred agreements with one another before birth. Parents, siblings, even close friends may have shared other lives together, carrying deep bonds or lessons still to be completed. So look at your family through this lens. Even if there's pain, there's also purpose. Ask yourself, what did I come here to learn through them? Was it love, forgiveness, courage to walk a different path? You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the spiritual protagonist of your own life. Your soul, wise and aware, chose your parents for a reason. Honor that choice, not out of obligation, but from a place of understanding. That shift in awareness unlocks immense inner strength and connects you more deeply with your purpose. And have you ever stopped to wonder why you were born in a specific country, culture, or historical era? That too is no accident. Many people feel trapped by external realities: poverty, injustice, violence, instability. But when we shift to a soul-centered perspective, we begin to see these circumstances differently. The culture, the time, the place, All are part of the stage your soul chose for learning. A soul that needs to develop empathy might incarnate where suffering is visible. One that needs courage may be born during turbulent times. A soul seeking to expand creativity may choose a vibrant yet challenging society. Nothing is random. Even the generation you belong to has a shared mission: healing old wounds, shifting outdated beliefs, and paving the way for new understandings. Your soul chose this time because it knew these conditions would help you grow in exactly the way you need. When you realize your life circumstances aren't mistakes but essential elements of your soul's journey, everything changes. You begin to see meaning where there once was struggle, possibility where there once was limitation. So, if you feel like you were born in a country in crisis, perhaps your soul came to help rebuild, to bring light, to inspire change. You're not lost. You're not late. You're right on time, exactly where you're supposed to be. Were you born into a strict or traditional society? Perhaps your soul came here to challenge old structures and open hearts and minds. Are you living through times of personal or global conflict? Then maybe your mission is to be a source of calm amidst the chaos. You're not in the wrong place. You're an essential piece of a much bigger picture. Your presence matters more than you realize. And what about free will? If the soul chooses so much before birth, do we still get to decide anything? This question is powerful, even freeing. The answer is yes. Before incarnation, your soul created a kind of blueprint, a map filled with potential experiences, people you'd meet, and key moments. But that doesn't mean everything is predetermined. Many people, when they discover the idea of a soul plan, begin to think they are stuck in a script they can't change. That's simply not true. Free will is real, and it is sacred. The soul's plan is more like a sketch or a flexible roadmap. It offers routes, detours, and turning points, but you are the one holding the compass. Every mindful choice you make brings you closer to alignment with your deeper purpose. And even the choices that seem to lead you away from your path are ultimately woven into your growth. They become part of the soul's learning. This is your invitation. Stop waiting for fate to act and start co-creating your life with purpose. Sometimes that means having the courage to walk away from a toxic situation, change your career, forgive someone, or answer a calling deep within. Other times, it means learning to wait, to trust divine timing. Free will isn't a burden. It's a sacred gift. It makes your victories, your love, and your resilience even more meaningful. Your soul believes in your ability to choose. Now it's your turn to believe in yourself. Before you were born, your soul might have intended to experience love, growth, or healing. But that doesn't mean you're forced to follow a specific script. You can postpone lessons, reject challenges, or take longer winding paths. That's part of spiritual evolution. And then there are those rare moments when you meet someone and feel like time pauses, as if the universe is whispering, This is important. These soul connections are not random, they're reunions. Yet in today's fast-paced world, these moments often go unnoticed or mistaken for passing attraction. When that happens, we risk losing connections meant to change us. Before reincarnation, souls often make agreements to reunite in the physical world. Soulmates, soul companions, mission partners. You know them not through logic, but through energy, an intense familiarity, a deep peace, or a forceful pull that shakes up your life and pushes you to grow. You might exchange a look that feels timeless, a conversation that feels like it's picking up from long ago, or just a knowing, I've met you before. But be cautious. Soulmates don't always mean smooth relationships. In fact, many of these connections are designed to challenge you, to awaken wounds that need healing, or to trigger growth. How do you recognize these connections? Start by asking yourself, does this person help me become more of who I truly am? Do they challenge me to grow, even when it's uncomfortable? If the answer is yes, you may have encountered a soul you were meant to meet. Open your heart, but stay grounded. Not all intense bonds are soul reunions, and not all soulmates stay forever. Some come to teach, to support, to awaken. Sometimes loving someone deeply means walking together. Other times, it means knowing when to lovingly let go. On the spiritual level, bonds are much more diverse and complex than we often think. The mistake many people make is chasing the perfect soulmate, believing that one person will complete them. But this idea is limiting and often leads to disappointment. That's because there are many types of spiritual connections. Soulmates are spirits with whom you share an eternal bond. You may reunite in several lifetimes, helping each other grow. The connection can be romantic, platonic, or a life partnership. It's intense and feels destined, but soulmates don't exist to complete you. They reflect and awaken who you really are. Soul companions walk with you through specific stages of life. They can be friends, family, mentors, or colleagues. These relationships may not shake your world, but they nurture, support, and guide you in quiet, powerful ways. Spiritual contracts are agreements made before birth with various souls. These can be beautiful or painful, joyful encounters, betrayals, losses. Every one of them serves a deeper purpose and contributes to your soul's evolution. Instead of obsessively searching for the one, celebrate all the meaningful souls who cross your path. Each one brings a lesson, a gift, even if it's wrapped in challenge or pain. You've never been alone, not for a moment. From the instant your soul chose to incarnate, a loving spiritual team was assigned to guide and support you. But in the busyness of daily life, many forget this. They think they have to carry their burdens alone, unaware that help is always near. Spiritual guides are highly evolved beings who walk with you, gently guiding, protecting, and inspiring. They never force your hand. Your free will is always respected, but they offer nudges, signs, synchronicities. A phrase in a book, a dream, a sudden intuition. These are some of the ways they speak. Sometimes they work through others. A stranger says exactly what you needed to hear, or someone enters your life at just the right moment. They also shield you from unseen dangers and help you stay aligned with your soul's path. Connecting with your guides requires stillness. Time in nature, meditation, prayer, or simple gratitude can strengthen this bond. The more you acknowledge them, the more attuned you become to their presence. Finally, let's talk about karma, a concept so often misunderstood. Many believe it's about punishment, about paying for past mistakes. This belief creates fear, guilt, and helplessness. But in truth, karma is just the universal law of cause and effect. Every action, word, and intention sends out energy that eventually returns, not to punish, but to teach. Reincarnation is the soul's way of learning from karma. Through different lives, the soul gets chances to realign, to make different choices, and to keep growing toward love and wisdom. For example, if you misused power in a past life, you might return to experience humility and service. If you lacked empathy, you might come back to develop compassion. Karma isn't a sentence. It's a second chance. Responsibility and humility. If you've caused emotional pain to someone in the past, life may present you with experiences that cultivate empathy and a deeper respect for others' feelings. On the other hand, if you've acted with compassion and forgiveness, you're more likely to attract peaceful, balanced relationships and circumstances. Karma isn't a rigid sentence. You have the power of choice, always. Every moment offers a new opportunity to generate positive karma, release limiting patterns, and reshape your destiny. When you act from a place of awareness, love, and responsibility, you are sowing seeds of light, seeds that may bloom in this life or in another. So, when you're faced with hardship, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this here to teach me?" This simple shift in mindset takes you from victimhood to conscious co-creator of your spiritual evolution. Great souls often choose great challenges. When you witness or live through extreme suffering, be it chronic illness, war, poverty, or unbearable loss, the natural human response is to cry out, "This is unfair. This must be punishment." But through the eyes of the soul, everything looks different. Some souls deliberately choose difficult lifetimes in order to accelerate growth, balance past karma, or assist in humanity's collective awakening. These beings often come to shine light in the darkest places, to spark awareness where hearts have gone numb, and to embody lessons in resilience, forgiveness, and strength. These souls see the full picture before birth. They see the pain, the losses, the obstacles, and still they say yes. Why? because they understand that through such trials, their light can expand in a deep and powerful way. Souls who incarnate with severe disabilities often become teachers of unconditional love, acceptance, and dignity for those around them. Souls battling terminal illnesses often awaken empathy and tenderness within their families and communities. Souls born into war-torn regions often carry messages of peace, justice, and reconciliation. And what does that awareness change? Everything. It transforms the way we view suffering, our own and others. It silences the urge to judge and opens the heart to compassion. It reshapes how we see our struggles, helping us honor even the pain as a meaningful part of the soul's journey. When you truly grasp that some of the hardest lives are chosen by the bravest souls, your perspective changes. You begin to see yourself and others not as victims, but as spiritual warriors. If you're facing deep challenges right now, hear this. Your soul is greater than any pain. You are more resilient than you know, and your light is just beginning to shine. You didn't come into this world just to survive. You came here to live with purpose, and your soul already knows what that purpose is. The problem is that, in the rush of daily life, many people lose touch with it. The stress, fear, and noise of the world drown out the voice of the soul. But living disconnected from your purpose creates emptiness. Even when everything appears fine on the outside, inside, there may be a quiet ache, a feeling of being lost. Your purpose isn't something you have to invent. It's already written in the fabric of your soul. Finding it is a matter of remembering, of waking up to what has always been there. So how do you reconnect with your purpose? Here are some powerful keys. Synchronicities and signs. When you begin aligning with your true path, life responds. The right people appear. Opportunities come out of nowhere. Inspired ideas strike like lightning. Pay attention. None of it is random. The Akashic Records. Often described as the soul's energetic archive, these records hold the memory of all your experiences, emotions, and learning across lifetimes. Accessing them, either through a trained guide or personal practice, can reveal your soul's gifts, wounds, and intentions for this lifetime. Meditation and silence. When the mind is noisy, the soul's voice gets lost. Create small daily moments of silence. Even 5 minutes will do. Your soul has been leaving you clues all along. In your passions, your childhood dreams, the hurts that won't heal, the talents that won't go away. Reconnecting with your purpose isn't just something nice to do. It's necessary for your spiritual well-being. In the Quantum Thinking Challenge, you'll find 21 exercises and tools to help reprogram your mindset, align your energy, and begin co-creating the life you were meant to live. The results have been nothing short of inspiring. People breaking old cycles, finding their purpose, and transforming from the inside out. Maybe your story is next. Now, Take a deep breath and look at your life, its joys, its losses, the twists and turns, and hear this truth. You are exactly where you need to be. It doesn't matter if the road has been rougher than expected. It doesn't matter if you've stumbled, taken detours, or started over 100 times. Every step, every fall, every tear and triumph has led you to this moment, this awakening. The mind loves to compare, to tell you you're late, that you're behind, that you should have done more. But the soul knows everything unfolds at the perfect time. There are no delays in the universe, no mistakes that can't be used for growth. Only paths, lessons, redirections, and infinite chances to begin again. If you feel the call to realign your life with purpose, that call itself is the beginning. The universe doesn't expect perfection, just honesty, courage, and a willingness to grow. Trust the journey, even when you can't see where it's leading. Your soul sees, your soul knows. Embrace your past. Everything, yes, even the pain, was part of your becoming. Be grateful and let it go. Honor the present. Today is a sacred offering. Life is alive in this moment, full of potential. Build your future with intention. Choose thoughts that uplift. Take actions that inspire. Love in ways that set yourself and others free. You are an eternal soul on an extraordinary path. So the next time fear or doubt creeps in, remember, your soul already knows the way. You only need to trust and keep moving forward.